Hey everyone, it's Kristen. So, this video is for Sunday, Monday. Yeah, I know. You're probably getting tired of me saying I'm behind. I apologize. Um, it just, it's summer, everyone's on vacation, so I'm working a lot more, which that's fine. Just that puts me a little bit behind on doing these, obviously. So, for Saturday, Sunday, because of course this calendar always does those together, it is Ghost Rider. And then for Monday, we have Aries, which I did a origin video on Hercules, but didn't, Aries has been featured in this, calendar a couple times before, but I haven't really talked about him because he's pretty self-explanatory, Greek god of war, master of all weaponry, because he's the god of war, even modern weapons, but he prefers like ancient Greek weapons like axes and stuff. He can shoot fire. Let's see, what else does it say? Vast strength, inexhaustible stamina, and godly life force. So, yeah. It says even though he's the master of all modern weapons, like all weapons, period, he still prefers, like swords and axes. So, yeah, I really, like I said, he's pretty self-explanatory, so I haven't really felt like, and plus, well, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. So the stamp for these 2 days is Silver Surfer, stamp 93. We're nearing the end. Pretty timely considering, the movie's coming out soon. Not that they probably did that on purpose. Well, obviously they couldn't have done that on purpose because they're in order. So I wonder if, since they knew ahead of time, if the release date of Fantastic Four will be like a Fantastic Four image or something like that in this calendar. Because, of course, 4th of July we had Captain America, so, we'll see. So, Silver Surfer. This is from Marvel 2-in-1, number 5, September of 74. Also appears in Sergeant Fury, number 118, March 74. Werewolf by Night, number 23, November of 74. And so the image where this comes from is Silver Surfer number 16, May of 70, art by John Buscema and Chick Stone, and it says in the hands of Mephisto, which we've talked about him quite a bit, because he's a major player in the Marvel universe. So, and I've heard, the rumors that he's in Ironheart. I have not seen the show yet because, well, I'm behind in that stuff too. There's like a whole pile of shows that I need to watch, and I will one of these days eventually. Maybe after summer's over and everyone's back from vacation and they're not going anywhere, then I won't have to work as much, and then I'll have more time to watch stuff. So pretty much I feel like, Silver Surfer first appeared in Fantastic Four 48, 1966. I feel like pretty much everyone knows his origin. Like Norrin Rad, he was an astronomer on Zenla, and ironically, he dreamed of life beyond his planet. And then Galactus came to consume his planet, and in order to save his planet and his love, Shala Bal, or it could be Bell. I think it's Ball. Anyway, I'll just call her Shala because I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. Anyway, so he offered his services to Galactus as a herald, provided Galactus would leave, his planet alone. So, pretty much I feel like everyone knows that origin. So the new Fantastic Four movie, it's not set, in Earth 616, which is the usual comic book Earth. Which is the main Marvel universe. I don't think it's okay. The female Silver Surfer, that's in the new Fantastic Four movie, it's Ashala, but she's from the Earth X universe, which is Earth 9997. It's the Earth X story that they did where, things are different. Franklin Richards is actually like Galactus, and he imbues both Norrin Rad and Shala with the power of the, power cosmic, so they're both Silver Surfers at the same time. She dies in a battle with the Celestials. He dies after that. Don't remember exactly when, but anyway, they say that they're reunited in death together. So that's where this female Silver Surfer comes from, which, since this isn't like Earth 616, I mean, granted, I liked the Fantastic Four movies with Jessica Alba. I thought they were good. I liked them. The newer one, yeah, we don't talk about that. Oh, and of course, the villain in that movie, Doctor Doom, the guy who played that, he just recently died, which was pretty shocking. He was 56. I mean, and he was in Charmed, as Phoebe's, husband. Yeah, I mean, I really liked him as an actor, and I thought he did a really great job playing Doctor Doom. So, yeah, 56. That sucks. Sorry. Anyway, I got distracted. I feel like since this is not like Earth 616 comic book universe, or even the MCU Earth, I feel like it's fine that they chose to use Shala as the as the Silver Surfer for this movie. I don't see that as a big deal. I mean, it's not like I said, Earth 616 or even the main MCU universe. So yeah, it's not a big deal, I don't think. So obviously, I feel like since no timelines, I don't know, because of course we saw Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four movies in Deadpool and Wolverine, but that, I don't think Deadpool is technically the MCU universe, so I don't know. That's a little bit confusing, and I'm sure with the whole Doomsday and Secret Wars, there's going to be all kinds of characters coming from all kinds of universes and storylines and realities and all kinds of just random things, I feel like. So I won't get too hung up on all that logistics of that, because yeah, it can get confusing. Anyway, so he volunteered for that. But once he met the Fantastic Four and Alicia Masters, he kind of was taken back by their noble spirits and just how they were, like how compassionate, how much they cared, especially Alicia, because she's a very compassionate, caring person, despite her being blind and having to go through life with that. I mean, I feel like, okay, if it was me, something like that happened to me, I would become a very bitter person. So I mean, it's just being honest. So for her to be like this super nice, super compassionate, super caring person, I admire that, because to me, I'm pretty sure I would become bitter. Just because it's not that hard to be bitter. I mean, I feel like it's harder to be the other way, honestly, and especially in this day and age. But okay, I'm sorry I'm getting off topic so much. It just, so I just random thought in my head, and then it goes this way, and then I'm like, oh, rein it back in. We need to go back to what we were talking about. So for the rest of this video, I will try not to get off topic. So once he met the Fantastic Four and Alicia, he kind of actually rebelled against Galactus and says, you can't have Earth. And so they defeated him, in a way. And so Galactus said, okay, fine, since you like Earth so much, you're going to be confined to it. And he put this invisible barrier around Earth as punishment, for Silver Surfer. And at first, Silver Surfer was like, okay, whatever. And he teamed up with Hulk and Namor to, help people. Then Doctor Strange joined, and they were called like the Defenders for a little while. But he was like super restless. I mean, he's used to roaming the cosmos, and of course, he misses his home. So Reed helped him kind of pierce the barrier so he could, escape. Um, yeah, he finds out that his home has been ravaged by Galactus, who obviously didn't keep his word because, I mean, at least he didn't like completely destroy the planet, which is, one thing. So, and Mephisto has actually kidnapped Shala because he wants Silver Surfer's soul. Doctor Doom also is thrown in the mix. He wants his power because, of course, he always needs more power. So he goes back to Earth, even though, he doesn't really want to because he doesn't want to be confined again. But he goes back to Earth to save Shala, and Shala goes back to their, back to their planet. She ends up being transported back there. So he actually helps the Fantastic Four defeat Terrax, who's Galactus's new Herald. And I actually did a video on Dazzler defeating Terrax and becoming Galactus's Herald. It was in her series, so I'll put that in the description. It was a really fun story. Okay, I thought it was a fun story. So Galactus, his Herald Terrax, is pretty much consumed with power. He's power hungry. So he found this planet for Galactus, but instead of actually giving it to Galactus, he hid it from Galactus and made himself like their god. And so once Galactus found out, of course, he was really mad. So Terrax hid himself in this black hole, thinking, okay, well, Galactus can't get me here, so I can't be put up for punishment because Galactus will never get me here. So Galactus made Dazzler his herald, gave her the power cosmic in order to go into the black hole and retrieve Terrax, because if Galactus went into the black hole, which he could do, but it would basically collapse the dark hole, or I keep saying dark hole, it's black hole, you know what I mean. And it would destroy pretty much everything around it. So Galactus actually didn't want that to happen, which, you'd think, oh, well, that's nice of him, I guess. So he made Dazzler go in after Terrax, and yeah, so I'll put that video link in the comments because it's actually pretty cool to have Dazzler be a herald of Galactus and to, for that that story. I mean, I just am really enjoying the Dazzler series. It's been a lot of fun to revisit it. So anyway, but that story relates to what we're talking about now. So I'll put that in the comments. Let's see. So defeats Terrax, saves Nova, the current herald of Galactus. One of the heralds of Galactus from the Skrulls. And so this Nova is not like Nova that you know from like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's actually Frankie Ray, and she is a human, and she was the Human Torch, the original Human Torch, the android. The chemicals that he was doused with that made him catch on fire, she was doused with those same chemicals. And her stepdad kind of planted the seed in her and kind of made her afraid of fire, because her being doused with those chemicals gives her that same ability, to generate fire. And he wasn't sure what would happen if she were to generate fire. Would she be consumed, completely consumed by the fire? Would she be able to control, having these powers? Or would she completely burn everything, inside? So he kind of, manipulated her into being scared of fire, which is ironic because she was dating Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. Anyway, but eventually she was able to, embrace her powers, control them, volunteered to be a Herald of Galactus. I don't know why people volunteer. I mean, if they have extenuating circumstances, I get it. But some people just like kind of volunteer. Like they're like, hey, well, I guess the whole hey, I want more power. That'd be awesome to travel the cosmos. That's part of the allure, I guess. So, yeah, saved her from the scrolls. He actually stopped a plot by the elders of the universe, which the collector is one of those, is an example of an elder, because they were going to basically consume Galactus so that they would gain more power, and in doing so they were going to destroy the world and the universe and remake it. So he and Mantis stopped them, but in the process Mantis died. I mean, she didn't stay dead, but she died at the time, and they were in love. So Silver Surfer was super, super upset. And I did a video on Mantis too, her origin. She has a really interesting, crazy story. So if you want to, not like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie Mantis, for sure, no, very far removed from that. So if you want to check that out, I'll put that in the description below also. Where was I? Oh yeah, he's inconsolable, very upset. Before this, I forgot, like, once he saves Nova from the Skrulls, before the Elder Gods plot, to destroy the universe, he actually goes back to his home, Zenla, and finds that Shala is now the Empress of Zenla, because of course she was given the power cosmic, like a little part of the power cosmic by him, Silver Surfer, in order to kind of restart the planet, like restart the planet life. And so they, made her Empress. So she cannot be with him anymore because she has all these responsibilities to the planet now. Kind of reminds me of Xavier and Lilandra. Sorry, brain moment. So, let's see. Oh, Nova, she wasn't even introduced in comics until like 1975. So she definitely, will not be in here. Like, we don't have very many stamps to go, honestly. So let's see. So, yeah. Oh, and then I think the next major thing would be like the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. So it's kind of funny because, well, interesting, because the original intent was to confine this story just to Silver Surfer. And then the people at Marvel decided, you know what? No, this is a really good story. This is a really interesting story. We're going to make it like a huge multi-platform issue crossover. And I think this was the first one of that type, where it went almost across like every single property that they owned. And that was the whole intent, that they wanted to capitalize on like every single thing, which, I enjoy good crossover out now and then, but like I just saw online today, they were talking about Marvel, the new Age of Apocalypse, Revelation, whatever, and it's supposedly a story 10 years in the future, and it's like over 16 titles, and I'm like, ugh. I don't know. I mean, as much as I love X-Men, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to, buy 16 titles and keep up with that, honestly. I might just wait for it to come out, in trade paperback form, because that's a lot. I don't know. Considering, most issues now are like $4 or $5, times 16. That's a lot of money. So, and what if I don't... And plus, it's a story set 10 years in the future. So, honestly, it might not even mean anything. Because that's a lot of stories that are set in the future. They're just like alternative universe stories, basically. They don't really mean necessarily a whole lot or impact the current story. So, I don't know. And I know I sound like terrible because an unsupportive, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not easy right now, and yeah, that's quite a bit of money. So I think I'll just wait for the trade paperback because that's a lot of money and a lot of time. So yeah. Anyway, my point is that was the first like huge multi-issue over several properties sort of, crossover that they did. So when Silver Surfer first met Thanos pretended to be dead so he didn't have to deal with him, which I thought was pretty funny. He's like, oh, that guy. Ooh, I don't want to deal with that guy. So I'm just going to pretend I'm dead. And then when Silver Surfer learned he wasn't dead, he went after him. And then Thanos trapped him in the soul, in the soul gem. And then in the soul world, he met Adam Warlock, who freed him and promised to, help him stop Thanos. And so Silver Surfer went to Earth to warn everyone that Thanos was coming. And in talking to Thanos, he learned that Galactus had actually, like, stolen a part of his soul. And he went to Galactus and demanded that, he restore his soul. Well, what happened is that Galactus had taken the part of his soul that was, like, super, like, compassionate and, and had feelings. So that, because I feel like at some point it's hard to do your job if you have a lot of feelings. Like, you're telling Galactus, hey, look, here's this planet you can consume. Oh, well, about the billions of inhabitants on it. Oh, tough luck for them. So I feel like, in a way, you have to be a little bit unfeeling in order to do that job. And some people, or some of the Heralds, they're like, whatever. Like, I don't even care about those people. Some Heralds actually went to the planet and started killing people before Galactus even consumed it. Oh, goodness. Pretty ruthless, if you ask me. So he got his soul back and realized what I just basically said. Like, holy cow, I helped Galactus kill all these, inhabitants, all these people. So he was grief-stricken, and he actually, again, Alicia helped him, through all this, and yeah, because he was just almost inconsolable with grief at what he had helped Galactus do, basically. Let's see. Oh, and then he realized also that his planet, Zenla, had actually been destroyed in, like, the 1940s of the, like, Marvel universe, or Marvel, comic universe. And what Galactus had done is just created a construct for him so that he'd have somewhere to go back to. Oh, man. So, yeah, that would have been rough, too, to find out that it's all just an illusion. He ended up on Sakaar, which we saw Sakaar in Thor Ragnarok, which is my favorite Thor movie. I thought it was really good, a really good mix of seriousness, action, humor. Just, yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. Like I said, my favorite one. We don't talk about the one that comes after that, though. No, that was not a good movie. No. They went just way too far on in the humor aspect, and it just killed the movie for me. I just didn't think it was that good. So, ends up on Sakaar, and thank you to that movie, I know how to pronounce that. And he is implanted with an obedience disc that all the gladiators have, in order to comply. And Hulk manages to dislodge his obedience disc, and then he helps everyone else, the Hulk and the other warriors, that, we saw those in Thor Ragnarok too. The other warriors like Krog and Meep or Maleep or whatever. So, and he asked Hulk, like, he offers to take Hulk home to Earth, and Hulk declines his offer. He's like, no. So that, was like the World War Hulk storyline, like a part of it. Oh yeah, and then after that, like the Annihilus War, Annihilation, and Annihilus is like the ruler sometimes of the negative zone, and he captured Silver Surfer and Galactus and gave them over to Thanos for experimentation. And then Silver Surfer's freed by Drax, and Silver Surfer then frees Galactus, who pretty much kind of wins the war for them. He's so angry, so mad that he destroys like half of Annihilus's forces, which, helps him obviously win the war. Yeah. And then he returns back to Sakaar because he realizes that Sakaar contains this like old power that not very many planets contain, but this old power he thinks will satiate Galactus for like thousands of years. So he's like, hey, if you consume this planet, then, you'll be satisfied for a long time. That was the plan anyway. So Scar, Hulk's son, opposes him, and Scar's mom ends up actually sacrificing herself as well as the old power to Galactus, to save everybody. She sacrifices her soul. But unfortunately, that does not have the effect that Silver Surfer wanted, because once Galactus got a taste of this old power, it didn't satiate him. He just wanted more. Like, he went in search of other planets that had this old power. So his plan didn't work at all. So Silver Surfer leaves the Galactus. He's like, you know what? I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So as punishment, again, Galactus confines him to Earth, and he actually tethers him to the new Asgard, which is in, randomly in Oklahoma. And he can wander anywhere he wants to on Earth, but the further he gets from Oklahoma, the less his powers are. So pretty much he kind of sticks pretty close to that area. And then, let's see, the first time he fought Null, I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. It's Knull. Like I said, I wish someone would come up with okay, you know how those, there's those books for kids, how you can touch a word and it tells you how to say it, pronounce it. That's what they need. Like a Marvel, like, pronunciation guide or something. I mean, I'd probably be the only one that would buy it, but that'd be really cool. So first time he faces him, he defeats him like using a star, basically. Star's worth of power to defeat him. The second time he faces him, he's not as easy to beat. He is Null is like super powerful. He actually, where you see the Celestial head nowhere, he's the one that killed that Celestial. So, and he is the god of symbiotes. So pretty much all the symbiotes, he created like this hive mind where they all listen to him and they have to obey him. So the second time Silver Surfer faces him, he's actually imbued with like this power and transformed through God of Light. And his, he takes on this chrome like armored appearance, which I'm like, well, but that's what he already looks like. So obviously it's a even more like heavy duty kind of armored, transformation, because of course, it kind of makes me think of Colossus. But anyway, because of course even in the new Fantastic Four movie, it looks like she's made out of like metal or chrome, So Transformed, and his surfboard is transformed into a sword because, of course, Null has the Necro Sword. So, and then randomness of randomness, Venom, Eddie Brock, actually becomes the new Captain Universe, and he takes Mjolnir and Silver Surfer's sword and combines them and creates this battle axe, which he uses to defeat Null. And that makes him the new god of symbiotes, which the symbiotes are happy about because they didn't like, being a slave to Null, basically. So, yeah, I know. This video was long. I didn't think it would be long, but it's probably me going off topic a lot, like normal. Oh goodness. I don't know. I mean, I need to figure out how to not do that. But to everyone who has actually watched this entire video, thank you. And if you didn't watch this entire video, like to this point, I totally understand. I get it. So anyway, hopefully in the next video I won't ramble so much. I know I say that a lot and I still ramble, but I'll try harder to not be that way. So I hope you will join me in the future, like for more videos. And pretty much I need to upload another video later today because, yeah, I need to do one for Tuesday, Wednesday. So I hope you will join me for that video. And until next time, bye.